Well, this is the best new fighting game that you have never heard of. On a random night of scrolling through Steam, I stumbled across this game which nobody is talking about, and I need to shed some light on that because this game needs some recognition. It ticks so many boxes in the type of game I love to play. If you are a fan of third-person, fast-paced, brutal hand-to-hand combat games, then stick around because Acts of Blood is definitely for you. So let's paint a picture of the story. Play as Hendra, a man on a mission for revenge, infiltrating a hidden illegal factory. You'll come face to face with Jagal, one of those responsible for your family's murder. Engage in close quarter combat as you undiscover dark secrets as you take your first steps on the path of vengeance. Okay, I'm not going to pretend to care about the story. It's the same sort of thing as John Wick. You don't care about the story, you're in it for the awesome action, and that is exactly what this game gives you. When you first boot up the game, it takes you straight to your apartment, and this is where you can interact with a few things around your little gaff, and it's really cool because there's quite a few things you can engage with. Like you can check out the bins, it's like, oh, I've not took out the trash yet, or you can go to his gaming setup, it's like, oh, I don't think it's time for streaming or anything like that. I feel like it really captures how his life is. Like, he doesn't need too much, this is what he lives with, this is what he's got, and he's making the most of it. I quite like that, and it's quite a nice little insight to it. And before progressing out the door to your mission, you need to get dressed, so you go to your wardrobe to look for some clothes, and I've got to be honest with you, the clothing seemed pretty decent. It was all quite cool. Everything is kind of like a valid option to wear, whereas most games you see like one outfit, it's like, oh, this is alright, or sometimes that one outfit is like, oh, I guess I'll have to wear this because it's the least bad one. But there are all pretty decent outfits, and they do look good on the main character, so it's a bit of a win on that side. I went for like a nice baggy hoodie and baggy pants and stuff, just ready to kick some ass, looking pretty cool. When you leave your apartment, you've got two options. You can go for story mode, or you can go for arena mode. Bear in mind, this is the demo. This is a free demo, by the way. It's on Steam, anyone can download it, so go check it out. I highly recommend playing this game and spreading some awareness of it. I first played the story mode mission, which was the warehouse area, and this kind of throws you straight into the game. It starts off with a nice cool little cinematic where he's on his motorbike and he's heading towards the location, and it's got some nice camera angles in there, and there's a bit of dialogue in there which is quite well voice acted, to be honest with you. The game kind of gives me a bit of a anime voice actor vibe, so it kind of works for me because I'm an anime fan and I do like that sort of stuff. It was quite nice to see in a game, and to be honest with you, I wasn't actually expecting any voice acting. This game is made by Exil team, I'm not too sure. I'll put it on the screen, but I've never heard of them before, and when I've checked on their Steam page, they've not made a game before. So this is what it looks like to me, is a complete first project. So you got to bear that in mind throughout this whole thing. Like, if these people haven't published a game before, then this game could be like a make or break for them, and so far what I'm seeing, I'm liking, so I'm kind of supporting them, and I'm adding this game to my wish list and most likely going to buy it when it comes out. But back to the actual game, this game looks pretty stunning. Our first impressions, I really liked it. I liked the whole atmosphere the game gave you straight away. And you walk into this room, the first room you see, and there's a couple of guys in there ready to start your fight, and this is where you first get a chance to test out your action, and oh my gosh, it is so satisfying. The action feels so similar to Sleeping Dogs, and Sleeping Dogs is one of my best games ever. I've completed it on the Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC, Steam Deck, and I'm currently playing it again on the PlayStation 5. It is such a good game, and this game gives me such good vibes around that. The combat feels so similar. So when an enemy goes to attack you, you can obviously counter by pressing Y. It does an awesome dodge move with a really brutal counter attack. And when the enemy's health is lower and they are more vulnerable, you can press X and A at the same time to do kind of like a super move to finish him off. And these are surprisingly brutal. Some of them you can literally just grab the person's head and then knee him in the face about 5 times. You see the blood splatting everywhere. It's insanely satisfying if that is the type of cool stuff you like in these sort of fighting games, because that is what I love in these bare knuckle fighting games. It makes you feel so powerful. There's such a good variety of these moves, and each one of them are so equally satisfying. The combat system is cool. You get your X button, which is punch, and then your A button, which is kick. Obviously you can do all punch combos if you want, or all kick combos. They all work equally as great, but mixing them up is really cool because you get a few punches to the face, you can spin around, do a couple of kicks. It is cool. It's nice just to mix up. There is a skill tree on this game. It is currently locked on the demo, so I can imagine there'll be a lot of improvements on that and unlocking specific combos, like X, 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 A to do a certain move, etc. And I'm all for that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what that has to offer. There is a guard button. If you hold Y, you kind of put your fist up to your face like you're protecting your face. So far, I tested it out. I didn't really find much use for it because obviously the counter is really good. But maybe later on in the game, there might be certain enemies that you can't counter, and this is what you have to use that for. But so far, with the counter in place, it doesn't really see much use. If for some reason you're not already sold by the combat, then there are weapons involved. You can probably see it going on in the screen. But certain enemies are carrying like baseball bats and metal pipes and stuff like that. Once you beat them, you can take that weapon and you can use it. It's got its own little health bar. You can see in the top left, it's called the WP, which is the weapon health bar. And these are also equally satisfying to use. And yes, every single weapon so far that I've picked up on this game has its own X and A move. So like I said earlier, when you get an enemy weak, you can press X and A to perform a finisher. So each weapon does have a finisher move, and it's so cool, super satisfying. If axes, baseball bats and metal pipes are not selling it for you, they even have guns. Acts of Blood has one of the most unique takes on guns that I've ever seen, and you can tell by that straight away just by how the character holds the gun when you pick one up. Yes, you can aim and shoot like normal, but he kind of holds it like it is an object, so you're going to hit somebody with it, because that's the main purpose of this game. The main purpose is combat. You can shoot them if they're far away, but if they're close, you can also beat their ass with it. And yes, guns also have a finisher move. Because this was a demo and seems very early on, it doesn't really have much of the tutorial, and the UI is very bland, so I had to kind of figure out a lot of things as it came about. Like, there was a certain area where I had to crouch underneath something. I had to kind of figure out what the button for crouch was, which is down on the D-pad, just if you are curious. A bit of a strange button for crouch, but there was also a roll which I didn't figure out until the end. It could have kind of helped me with the boss at the end of the level, but if you double tap RT, you can roll. As you can probably tell from most of the clips that are going on the screen, that when you are in combat, it normally comes up with the button to prompt you to press that. It'll pop up with Y when it comes to counter attacks, or it'll press a X and A when it comes to doing a finishing move. But there was one bit near the end of the level where there was a big massive group of people and they were all fighting each other, and the game kind of tells you that you should sneak away from them and go to a certain way. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to fight them all, which I did. And funnily enough, when I was fighting them people, it had the same combat, except it didn't have any of them prompts. So it was quite refreshing, because at that point I'd already kind of gotten used to the way the combat works. It was nice to see that I didn't have to rely on the prompts being there, which was quite good, and it did make it a little bit more challenging. I've not tried any of the higher difficulty levels, so maybe that's something that the game might implement on a higher difficulty level. Once I completed the first mission, rather than turning the game off there and then, I went to the arena mode to test out what that is, and the one that is available is the Factory Prison Arena. In this mode, you just had your one health bar and there's no medipacks or anything like that. It was just waves of enemies coming at you, just your typical survival fighting mode, and it was really fun. Unfortunately though, the kill count went up to 41, I believe, or was it 43? It was one of them. It's in the 40s, and then it just stopped. So far demo doesn't progress any further than that, which is a bit of a shame. I wanted to kind of do it until I died, because my health wasn't exactly full health. I was still taking a few hits in there. This is something I look forward to playing in the proper game. I do feel like I would spend quite a lot of times on these, especially if there's any achievements to get like a high multiplier, because that's quite fun. And have you noticed every now and again that when the character goes completely red, that's when I'm activating, which I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to call it rage mode, because that's what most games call it. And in that mode, I believe that you're invulnerable, but I've noticed that the multiplier in the corner significantly increases, and a lot of the enemies seem a bit more scared of you. So there you have it, and I want to ask you all, are you guys going to check this game out? Because I would highly recommend it, especially if you're on PC. Well, I think it's only on PC at the moment, but I would highly recommend it. This is a game which I'm going to wishlist, and when it drops to buy, honestly, I think I'm just going to buy it straight away. It's one of them type of games where it's just fun. If you made it to this end of the video, I want to urge you all to please subscribe to this channel, because it really does help me out in the algorithms. Like this video, comment on it, check out some of my other videos. I hope you guys stick around, I hope you guys interact, and I hope to see you on some more of my videos. If you've got any recommendations or what type of videos do you want me to do, let me know in the comments below. I do a lot of game reviews, mods and fixes. I've just started doing retrospective reviews, so yeah, just follow this channel if you like stuff like this. It's Mark from Modern Tech. Thanks for watching.
Jaggle is dead. The hunt isn't over, and I won't stop until I kill them all.